Hello everyone, I'm Ruth Ann.
I'm Chris.
And this is Geek Chic Promotions, and we are back for Nerd Rage!
That's right.
That's right, we've been traveling for the holidays, but we missed you guys. Let's do a little cheers to you.
And it's almost New Year's, so Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So we figured we'd go through 2019, and most people go through the top, best of 2019, but since this is Nerd Rage, let's talk about the worst of 2019.
That's right.
Let's do it.
Talk about movies we've seen that sucked balls.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so first I'd like to talk about Men in Black International.
So Chris saw this because she is brave. No, you saw this on a plane for free.
I saw it on a plane. All right. I did when I went.
I did not watch it because it looked terrible. So tell us how terrible it was.
So I had like an 8-hour flight to Paris, and then I had the same flight back from Ireland this year, and I got to watch a whole ton of movies that I normally would not pay money to go see. So this list is mainly from that. So Men in Black International, which, as you know, stars everybody from Thor.
Yeah, from Thor Ragnarok. Yeah. And I'm like, guys, you can't just do the same thing. That's not how it works.
And it was, and they were trying to be like a little bit more woke. Where they were like, Men in Black, well, what about women? And like, we gotta change that. And you're like,
women and immigration and this and the other. Like, why couldn't we just keep this in the U.S.
I'm all
as well?
For that, but like also it was trying too hard. And that's when you try too hard. That's when things start going downhill.
And also that's another one of those movies. I'm like, nobody asked for another Men in Black.
Nope.
Like, honestly, we didn't even ask for a sequel or a third movie either. The third movie is actually quite good.
I say that a lot. I always like, nobody asked for this, but in reality, we don't really ask for anything, do we? Not really.
Oh, we do.
Do we?
Oh, yeah.
We ask for things to be changed after they're shown to us.
No, we ask for sequels and I'm sorry, as soon as
we vote with our dollar.
Give me that. Well, there's movies like the first Guardians of the Galaxy. As soon as it ended, I'm like, I need the next one.
That's true.
Give it to me now.
You're absolutely correct. Yeah.
So there are some that 100%. Or the next season. I need the next season of the show.
Also, I do like Men in Black. So I was hopeful.
I love those movies.
And honestly, what is her name? The gorgeous white-haired lady.
Oh no.
British.
Go, go, go.
I hate when this happens, and it happens on every stream. Which is super annoying. Oh, I forgot to type in international, guys. That's what's screwing me. Okay, why can't I think of her? Ugh, driving me crazy.
IMDb, just click on that one. I'll tell you the list of actors.
Lord.
No.
You guys.
Just wait for
it's
it.
on the tip of my tongue.
All of you are probably commenting right now.
Y'all
it's this
know
person.
Who I'm
it's
talking
this person.
About. You all know. Emma Thompson. Oh my god. That was so annoying. Okay. So, loved her.
First of all, I love Emma Thompson.
Yeah,
and
she was great in this movie. However, poor Tessa Thompson, did her best. But Chris Hemsworth played
himself again, right? Is what it looked like.
Sort of, but he played a guy who had paired up with Liam Neeson and had essentially saved the world. And so he was kind of like the rock star of Men in Black. And everybody kind of was like, oh yeah, he's this super cool guy, everybody wants to be friends with him, and she was like, oh my god, he's so good looking, I totally want to know him. And oh my god, he saved the world. So he's kind of a desirable figure. But then you find out that Liam Neeson's like, you know what, I saved the world, and I literally let you have credit, and all this other stuff, and it all falls apart because immediately Liam Neeson's the villain. From 5 minutes in. I'm sorry, spoilers, but 5 minutes in, you're like, oh, Liam Neeson's the villain in this. So it was so predictable. It was so bad, and I thought maybe along the way I'd be a little bit entertained, but it was just the same crap all over again.
I mean, to me,
it wasn't anything new, and I'm kind of disappointed in that.
I'm disappointed that they didn't take a hard cut on the. I mean, immigration is an issue all over the world, but I really wanted them to double down and get to the nitty gritty,
which would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing, but they chickened out.
They did.
In my opinion,
they're nobody wants to see that. I just want it to be lighthearted and fun, and you're just
you can do that, but you need to. If you're going to make this movie, you might as well go for the gold.
Yeah, it really needs something. Although I have to say, Kumail Nanjiani, I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah.
The guy from Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Whom I love. And also Stuber, which a movie that I love, so that will not be on this list. even though everybody else hated it. I loved it.
Wait, what was the name of it?
Stuber,
Oh, yeah.
who just, you know, he drives an Uber, so it's like, really? His name is Stuber and you drive an Uber? Anyway, I thought it was hilarious.
Julia. That's
I
hilarious.
thought it was hilarious. Okay,
Why is that funny? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's accurate.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I thought
All
he
right.
was great in it, but everything else, crap.
Yeah.
So
All right,
that
so,
was my list. So now you, one of yours.
one of mine. So, again, I only watched these movies because it was on a plane and
Right.
it was for free.
I feel like it's gonna be a theme.
Because I can tell from trailers and from other stuff. Just I know well enough. Like, I'm just not gonna spend my time or my money on these things, especially Dark Phoenix. Oh my gato!
I think I dozed off in the middle and then woke up for the end. I'm not gonna lie.
Bad. So there's so many of the X-Men movies that I try to like separate myself because obviously I'm an aggressive fan. I'm like, just watch it as if it's a movie. Like I feel like for me the first one was the third X-Men movie. I'm like, just take a step back, pretend you've never read a comic in your life, and watch this movie. None of it makes sense. Like it's just so out of control and. Why? Just why?
You know what I want to point out, which I hate? It's when writers do this tired plot device, which is just like, you know, somebody does something and they're just like, oh my god, I feel so horrible. Now I'm gonna have to go off and be alone and not tell anybody, because even though it's the worst possible movie I can make, that's what I need to do. And they just like go off and they don't tell anybody, and then it becomes this big crisis. And then, like, at the end, they're like, I guess I should have talked to somebody.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like, really, are you that dumb?
Obviously. And, like...
Just bad.
It was just bad writing, all told. And it's like, guys, just read the comic. Just do the comic book. Why is it so hard? It's literally storyboarded for you in a comic book. Just do the fucking comic book. Why is it so hard? I don't understand.
Like, Sophie Turner.
Oh, Sophie.
I mean... She's a little bit, like, she's, like, kind of cardboard to me. Like, it's, like, a little bit...
Well, here's the problem with,
you know?
with just the Jean Grey character... I'm sorry, not Jean... Yeah, Jean Grey character in general, is that if you read the first, like, original comic books, she's just a redhead. Like, that's literally her personality.
What do you mean, just a redhead?
I'm sorry.
Like, what?
She has red hair. That's her entire personality. Like, legitimately, if you go back and reread, like, from the 1964 or whatever up until the 80s, like, that's her entire personality, and just everybody's in love with her because she's a pretty redhead, and that's it. There's no, like,
she has
drama
no, like,
in the
substance.
past or something. So, like, I appreciate that they tried to add some sort of, like, personality to her. But Sophie Turner is what the comic book is. Like, I mean... the way she plays it.
All right, so you're saying it's accurate.
Yeah, she's
Okay,
accurate.
she's accurate.
Versus like
All
what
right.
the script is trying to do of like she has this dark past and she's angry at her dad because her dad abandoned her.
Right, but also here's the thing with that. Okay, so why does she need to search for her dad and find out that he's alive? Like, I don't see the purpose in that. Like, first of all,
I mean, she's a teenage girl, I guess.
She's a teenager, and not only that, okay, was Professor X, like, wrong in not telling her that her dad was still alive?
No, it was her father's wishes.
Right, it was her wishes. And she should not be mad at him because he's like, look, this is what your dad wanted. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I'm not going to go against. Like, he thought this was best for you. He's your parent, so I'm going to abide by his wishes. And she, like... It's irrational what she does. It's irrational.
The whole thing is that I go back to every time is that you're trying to add all this stuff, but if you just do the comic book, it would be fine. Like, why are you trying to add all this stuff that isn't like in the origin stories? Isn't it? And also, it's just like if you just watch it as a movie, nothing makes sense. Like, all of a sudden, Magneto is totally fine.
Yeah. Right.
Like, he goes from, like, I'm gonna murder this chick to be like, well, but, you know, my friend wouldn't like that. It's like, when did this...
Yeah, and here's the thing. I feel like that's a classic thing of movie studios, having, like, a bunch of people, like, giving their input.
Yeah.
And like the poor writer just trying to satisfy every single studio executive, and it just getting completely muddled.
What
and,
I would love is if you just had Chris Claremont walk in.
Well, he was, you know, a consultant on the film.
For a minute, and then they kicked him out, and then he was super mad, as he should have been, because it was a garbage pile that came out.
There you go. Yeah. Don't blame him on that one.
Yeah.
Which honestly brings to mind why Alan Moore, like, has just washed his hands of everything. Like,
I mean,
everything Hollywood is garbage. Don't ask me. Like, go do your Watchmen bullshit, but just don't ask me
Just
for
don't
any
even talk to
kind
me.
of, like, approval or whatever. Anyway, okay, so that's yours.
Yeah, that's one for
Dark
me.
Phoenix. Okay, so my next one is gonna be The Dead Don't Die. Now, I don't know if anyone's seen this or not, but The Dead Don't Die I was super excited about because it was a zombie flick with Bill Murray and Adam Driver, and I can't remember her name, but anyway, it was like a bunch of like really awesome people in it, and I thought that the trailer looked very like tongue-in-cheek, and it was very deadpan, and it was kind of right up my alley. And I remember when I was talking to Marcus about it, I was like, oh, I really want to see that movie, and he was like, it's a Jim Jarmusch movie. He's like, you're not gonna like it. And I was like,
But I want to.
It's got everybody I like it in.
But I want
It
to
looks
see it.
like
I want
it's
to go
so
to
up my
there.
alley. And here's the thing, like, so I watched the movie, and initially it's very funny because it's got a zombie outbreak literally happens, and everybody recognizes the signs and is like, well, clearly this is a zombie outbreak.
Shit's going down.
Yeah, and like everyone, like, and Adam Driver is like very matter of fact. He's like, there's nothing else that this could be except a zombie outbreak. Like, I hate to tell you all this, but this is what it is.
This is legitimately.
This is legitimately what it is. And of course, Murray's like, but does that like happen? Like, I'm having a hard time wrapping my brain around this. Like, zombies? And it's like, well, clearly this is, like this is what's happening. And like you go along and it's great, but then it's just like you find out that the reason why Bill Murray's like this is because Jim Jarmusch didn't give him the rest of the script. They're talking in a car and zombies are pounding on it. And he's just like, he says to Andrew, like, how do you know all of this? Like, what, like, how are you so calm? Like, through this whole entire thing, you know what's going to happen and you're calm, you're not panicking. Like, what is your deal? And he's like, well, I read the script. And Bill Murray's like, I didn't get the entire script. I only got my scenes. Jim only got me my scenes.
Wait, what?
Yes. In the, like, literally in the middle of the movie, they have this conversation. He goes, and I've done more movies with Jim than you have. And they have this, like, meta argument in the middle of the movie.
Wait, so does it refer to that again, or like?
No. That's the only time it happens, and then they move on, and it's just, which was like a little bit off-putting for me, like, as I mentioned.
Okay, I would totally be okay with the fact if that was like the turning point of the movie, and then it became a funny, like, meta thing for the rest of the time. But if it just does it for just, like, right in the middle.
Right in the middle. It was really weird.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's funny, like, so when we were making this list of the worst of 2019, like, so many, I was like, I didn't see it because I saw the trailer. I was like, nope.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, I also saw this on a plane.
Yeah. Again, so another
But I
one-
really wanted to see it. That was the thing, like, I would have
Yeah.
seen it in the theater if I'd gotten a chance to. But, like, just timing didn't allow it.
Yeah.
No one wanted to go with me, like, and it was just, like, a whole thing. It's fine. So,
I would say
yeah.
that the next one, again, I did not pay for. I watched on a plane, was the Hellboy movie.
Let's talk about Hellboy.
Okay, first of all, I'm still mad there wasn't a third of, like, Guillermo del Toro's, like, Hellboys, because I was super on board for that. I loved 1 and 2. Let's put that out there real quick. So, we had actually had a nerd rage where Chris had gone into detail about this movie. And I heard all the stuff and all that kind of thing, and I saw it in the plane, and I was, like, again, trying to do, like, the go to your happy place.
But remember I told you I
just
was
watch
like,
a movie, see
but
what happens.
Here's the thing. When I saw it, literally we had a nerd rage about it, and I had convinced everybody to go see it.
Yeah, that it wasn't as bad as we thought.
It wasn't as bad. And the thing was, is I was like, well, here's the reasons why it's bad. And I listed like A, B, and C.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yeah, that sounds bad, but it also sounds like,
okay, like
okay, like I'm listening. Like, you say it's bad, but like that sounds entertaining.
I saw what you, like, I agreed with the stuff that you're like, oh, okay, all right. But just as a whole, it just doesn't like it's one of those movies like I've literally already forgotten. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just kind of like
yeah,
because there's just so much stuff that doesn't make sense.
It's true, and you know that's part of like the feeling of it, because I felt like what's his butt?
Oh yeah, Hopper.
Hopper, yeah, from Stranger Things,
Yeah.
who plays Hopper. I thought he did a fine job.
He did a fine
Like
job.
honestly, he did. Tough shoes to fill when you're coming, you know, hot on the footsteps of the other dude.
Yeah.
I
That guy.
blank on names every time we do this. I'm like, you know,
The alcohol doesn't help.
y'all know who I'm talking about. You know, the guy with the face and
Yeah,
the hair.
thing.
Anyway, it was just.
They tried to fit too much into one movie, and that
Yeah.
happens a lot too. That you're just like, oh, now we're here, now we're doing this, now we're doing that. It's just,
Yeah, you know, and I feel bad because, you know, any movie that's based on a comic book, I would love to
I
have
want
it
it to
succeed.
work.
You know,
I
and
want it to.
I want to see like
It was actually X-Men
Abe
3 that broke
Sapien.
me.
Yeah, I want to
for
see
Olive.
like, and I just don't understand like how these things move forward, you know, and end up this way. Like, I guess I do understand, but I don't understand. It's like, just do it the proper way. Like, let's just pretend like that we're in a movie studio and we have all these executives who've never seen a comic book movie, okay? Or not
Or read a comic book.
Read a comic, that's what I mean. Like, they've never read the series, but they're like, oh, hey, so we have this comic
It's
book.
super popular.
It's
We
super
have this
popular.
IP.
You already know it's come out before, you know, and it was great.
I still don't know why every single time that studios do any comic book movie, or even anything that's based on a nerddom, like whether it's, you know, a series of movies like Star Wars or Star Trek or any like long-running nerd thing, why you don't have at least 2 to 3 like people who are just super uber
Right,
fans
well,
to just
honestly,
be like,
and that's
hey,
why
you probably
the-
should put this in.
That's why the Marvel movies work so well.
Yes.
Because, you know, you have, first of all, like
That's
Favreau.
why Jon Favreau, I was about to say, Jon
have
Favreau is
that.
not only saving all of Marvel, but also Star Wars, because
Yes.
we have an actual fanboy.
Right. But
doing
he
that.
also would bring in, like, he brought in Bendis for the Marvel movies,
Yep.
who's like a producer on it. So, like, the people who are actually responsible for writing these stories in the comics, which made them what the fans loved, who literally, yes, you're not just going towards the fans, but it helps. You don't want to alienate the fans either. You want it accessible to new people who haven't read the comics, but you also want to please the comic book fans. And, like, it's not like they're bad stories. It's not like you can be
It's
like,
not an easy
oh, the
balance to
comics
do.
are, like, trash, you know? But, like, I just feel like, and I remember, because I'm friends with Mike Mignola on Facebook, and so, like, there was a whole bunch of, like, and of course, you know, our friend David does the publicity for Hellboy and everything.
Yeah.
So, it was just this thing of where you see everything going along, and then people turned. They turned after they saw the movie, and poor Mike was just like, you know, I'm really disheartened to see these reviews of the movie, but like, you know, he created Hellboy, but he doesn't have a say. It's like all the studio stuff, and I just
Yeah.
wonder, why don't they listen? Why don't they take note? Like, the creator of the freaking comic
So
and the character.
actually, it's because of what you just mentioned. Because you're trying to make, like, Hollywood is trying to make movies that will work with Middle America.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
Yeah.
the thing is
I know.
not a lot of them are comic book, anime, nerd fans just in general. They're not exactly geek pop culture.
Right.
So I feel that one of the biggest problems with any nerd or geek pop culture thing is that they're trying to vanilla it too much.
Mm-hmm.
And they try to make it too accessible to just like anybody, like your aunt. And you're like, well,
It's
no.
true.
What it should be is for the fan, because there is such an aggressive fan base, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what's fascinating. I'm so sorry to bring up Dragon Ball, but this is one of the biggest issues, or any anime movie
No,
to begin
I
with.
understand
is that there's this
that.
aggressive fan base, and they're like, well, let's vanilla it for
Right.
middle America, and
Mainstream.
you're like, well, now
No
nobody
one wants
likes
to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too vanilla for, like, you've changed it too much for the actual fans, and it's still a little too weird.
I mean,
for-
we see that with like stuff like Ghost in the Shell,
Yeah.
even,
Oh,
where you're
yes,
just like,
exactly.
you know,
And, like, movies, like, a movie that does it right, which is not based on any sort of fan base, would be Avatar. Avatar did very well because it is a very sci-fi, very fantasy, like, idea, but it's basically the plot of Pocahontas, Gone with the Wind, Fern Gully. Like, it did a very, like, easy to palatable storyline that middle America can handle, and the world got obsessed. And like that's the end of the thing.
That's true.
And it's like you have to take things and then make it so, I guess, so middle America can make it, or just make it and see what happens. Because I feel like there's some stuff that like look at Stranger Things. That they just made to be what it is.
Yes.
And it was so popular that middle America and everybody goes crazy for it.
And
now
then the comics
every single
come later.
yeah, and the comics come later. But like every single movie, every single TV show is now referring to Stranger Things, which is insane to me.
It is crazy. Yeah. So, well, you know, so I'll maintain that I didn't think Hellboy was that bad, but it is listed as one of the worst movies of 2019. Like,
it's not great.
Several
it's
lists.
not terrible. Like,
it's
you know
not
what,
terrible. But
you know what always makes me think about? Remember when Waterworld? We might be showing our age. Remember when Waterworld came out?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was listed as like the worst movie ever.
That's because it costs
because
a lot
it costs
of money,
so much money.
and it didn't
but
make
also,
it back.
if you look at how much it costs now, it's nothing.
But isn't it the same with like The Postman? For like all Kevin Costner movies, which were like incredibly epic and cost a lot of money, like failed pretty much, and everyone was like, "Screw you, David
But
Costner."
also, go back and watch
you know,
Waterworld.
Kevin.
It holds up really well. Like
It
to be
does.
fair, you're like, this is better
When
than
you
most of the
rewatch it,
blockbuster stuff that comes out now.
Exactly.
Like-
Whereas when I saw them, by the way, in the theater, I was just like,
Eh.
yeah. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't go see it again because it's really freaking long, you know. But whatever
No,
it is.
everything is.
But anyway, okay. So let's.
All right, next for you.
Next for me would be Glass. Okay, so I know Rodan hasn't seen this one.
I am the monster who didn't know that there was a whole like series of these movies until like I literally watched the trailer for Glass. I was like, was there a second movie? And Chris was the one who was like, what the fuck?
All right, so you watched Unbreakable.
I guess just here's my nerd card. I'm sorry.
Right?
I didn't know there was a second
Revoked.
one. I loved Unbreakable.
So
but I didn't know there was a second
Unbreakable
one.
was first, Split was second. Okay, and then Glass is third, and it rounds out the comic book trilogy. So, because they're superheroes from M. Night Shyamalan.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
That's right.
Yes.
So, and not only that, but Split, incredibly good. Like, and I know it's like, it's one of those underrated, it flew under the radar. It really did, but then when you watch it,
What year was that?
oh, 2017, maybe?
No idea.
Yeah, and it like, we can Google it, but it was so good, and we missed it too, and then we watched it when it came on Netflix, I think, and we were like shocked. We were like, wow, that was an amazing movie with, you know, Professor X. But it was just, we couldn't wait for the third one to come out, for Glass.
Really?
Yeah, for real. I mean, we watched it immediately, went out to go see it, and it wasn't that it was bad. It just.
So tell me why I should go see Glass.
Well, you should watch all three.
Oh, yeah,
because
obviously.
it does round out the trilogy, and Bruce Willis comes back. So does Mr. Glass. Obviously, he's the orchestrator of everything, and then you find out that he's just been basically like puppeteering everyone to get them into place.
Okay.
And then,
But why do you put Glass on this list then?
well, because it just didn't live up to the hype. Like the first two, Unbreakable, great. Split, great. And then you go for the finale, and you're just like, yeah. Like, it was just a little lackluster, a little unbelievable. And then you find out, like, that they're not...
I love that we go from, like, somebody who's literally superpowers and supervillain to split personality craziness to, the third one's unbelievable. I just can't.
Well, here's the thing, like...
Too far.
They made it so that, like, you want to believe in, like, the superpowers, because Mr. Glass is breakable, right? But then you have Bruce Willis, who's unbreakable.
Unbreakable, except for water.
Exactly. And then you have the split personality, where the guy is, like, superpowered, and he's, like, mass murderer, and he's, like, all this stuff. He's, like, the real villain. And then you find out that they're really just, like, oh, they don't have superpowers at all. They're just, like, mentally disturbed people.
That's how the series ends?
Yes.
Boo!
And they just have a strong belief. It's their belief in who they are. That, like, and yeah, exactly. And you're just like, that really sucks. But of course, with M. Night, that's the sad part, is that, like, we should have seen this coming, guys, because he's been failing in that twist, like, ever since, you know, the frickin' Bruce Willis I See Dead People.
Yeah.
Whatever the heck that was called. Why can't I remember that? Oh my God, you guys.
Sixth Sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's
Thank you.
only a few movies that M. Night did well, and
Yeah,
it's Sixth
right?
Sense and Unbreakable to me. Like those are his two. I
What
did
about
not.
the one with the aliens?
Which one with aliens? The Signs?
Oh, yeah, Signs. I like that one. With Mel
Okay.
Gibson. Yeah, it's okay.
Eh.
I know. Alright. It was mediocre. But like, anyway, so that's why, and it was listed as one of the worst of 2019 simply because it just fell flat there
Yeah,
at the end.
that's
And
fair.
It was very disappointing.
That's fair. All right, so one that was super disappointing for me, and I wasn't expecting much for it. So again, I watched it on a plane. Was Aladdin, the live action Aladdin?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh.
Okay, well let's.
How did you think, by the way, when you watched Aladdin, you saw like the first like 10 minutes, were you like, holy crap, Will Smith can't sing?
There's that, which I know he can sing.
Like what? Which is like the
Hello.
most shocking part of all
I'm
of it.
shocked. We are
Yeah.
shocked here. Here's my issue. So first of all, let's go back to the original Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
When you rewatch that movie, they're both vapid dicks. Like one is just like, life is so hard. I can't leave my palace.
Yep.
I just want to go outside. Ugh, but I have like a tiger and everything I ever wanted, but I can't go outside.
I just want to be free.
I just want to go out, like not even free. She just wants to go outside, and you're like, I don't feel like that's a really good free. Okay, and then Aladdin, who's just like, I just want to sit in a palace and eat bonbons. Why do I have to work all the time? And you're like, can we just have a little in between?
I mean, it's true, but like, literally, she is a prisoner, and her dad is just trying to find her a husband to marry her off
Yes,
to,
I mean,
which
like,
sucks.
okay,
and he's
yes.
poor, and he resorts to stealing. So there's a little more nuance.
Yes, there is more
in there.
nuance than that in the original. Right? Okay, fine.
Also, the musical numbers are spectacular
In the original, yes.
in the original.
This new one, again, I just
How do you feel though about the original Disney's Aladdin? Because it was one of my favorite Disney movies
I
of
know.
all time.
I loved that movie
Right,
growing
okay,
up.
so you do. So
I
you're
love
like, okay.
that movie. I have it pretty, especially
Like
every single one.
memorized,
Ron
right?
Williams lines. Are you
Yes,
kidding me? I have
memorized.
every
Okay.
single one memorized.
Same.
Loved the
All right,
movie.
Same.
There, but like when you go back as an adult, you're like, well, honestly, of all the Disney princesses, probably Mulan is the only one that counts. But actually, is the best. But the live action movie, she's awesome. She also murders more people than any other villain combined. But the live action was missing so much.
It was.
There's this problem, and this is actually why I appreciate that Mulan doesn't have any musical numbers, because they just can't seem to figure out how to let actors sing while still acting. Because like it just becomes this dead-eyed like, I am singing notes now. I sing words.
Okay.
Like that's it.
What about giving Genie a love interest?
Oh, I forgot about that.
And it's like the handmaiden of like the princess.
Yeah, that was kind of cute.
Well, first of all, I
guess.
forgot who plays her.
I forgot to place her too. I mean,
I'm gonna look her up because
it's not like I was like angry watching it, but it's just another one of those movies that's like I didn't need a remake or live action. And honestly, is there?
Nasim Pedrad. Okay, so I absolutely love her. By the way, I've seen her in a whole bunch of stuff, which I will tell you.
Also, they
I
needed.
just won't
They
say it.
honestly needed to cast somebody who was older and not as attractive for Jafar. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, because he was hot. And you're like, what?
Flipping hot! Like,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
pretty
Oh,
bad.
twist my arm. I'll marry you, Jafar.
Okay, what was she in that I've
I
seen?
offer myself as tribute.
Yeah, okay, she's New Girl. She's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's
Yeah.
where I know her from.
Yeah, same.
Saturday Night Live is where, yeah, okay. Big Mouth, she plays Fatima. Yeah, okay.
Big Mouth is on
So, all of these things, like, I absolutely adore her, but, yeah, I mean, okay, but also, why? I don't know.
I'm
Like,
gonna be honest right now.
also,
and it's funny because it
I
came
didn't
up
like
on
the
a lot.
Aladdin. Did you like who they cast as Aladdin? I
No.
didn't like that either.
No,
I was
I
like
just-
not on board with him.
So here's the thing, Disney. Obviously, I love you. I love Disney movies.
Oh, it's a Guy Ritchie movie. Why would you put Guy Ritchie
Why would you put Guy Ritchie,
in
who's like
charge of a Disney movie?
a Disney musical, when he's like the badass at like crazy
Makes
action?
no sense.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah,
Can you name right now a live action Disney movie, like when they're remaking some of their cartoon movies? Can you name one that you're like, yes, it's exactly what I wanted?
Well, I'll be honest, I did not mind
Beauty and the Beast.
No, I think it was Cinderella.
Yeah.
Was it Cinderella? The one with the chick from Downton Abbey. That was Cinderella, right? No. Yeah? Yeah! Wait.
Look that up because I don't even know now. I honestly, Disney, you've been doing so many things right. The live action.
Yeah, Cinderella. I kind of liked it, yeah.
But did you like it enough to like, yes, this is what I wanted? Like, you topped the cartoon.
Nothing ever tops the cartoon.
Nothing tops the cartoon.
But Mulan might.
Mulan might.
It's
and
got
here's what I'm really interested in is because Mulan will be the first time they're taking out the musical aspect of it completely.
And I think
it's okay. I think that's the right way to do it.
I do too.
I don't, because as people that have been watching this channel for a long time know, I'm a musical theater girl, and I do love me some musical theater.
They surround me out here, you guys.
Love you.
All of my friends are musical theater nerds, and I don't understand it.
I've not seen, I can't even think off the top of my head right now, a musical theater movie that I've actually was like, you did it right.
Well, I mean, we're going to find out.
Since Chicago.
Yeah, we're going to find out. Well,
Chicago will be the last movie that I'll say actually took a musical theater thing and did it well. And sorry to do a total sidetrack right now, real quick. So what was interesting about Chicago the movie is Chicago the musical doesn't have any script. It is just songs. And they switched it, and what they did right is that in the movie, anytime that they sing is her imagination. Versus on stage in musicals, the reason that people sing is because words aren't enough anymore and you need the emotion of music behind you to actually emote what you want to convey. So I don't know if it's ever possible again to be able to do musicals in film, because we've crossed kind of a threshold of
also, why do
what
we have
film
to?
is.
Like, I don't understand it. I mean, make it accessible, I guess, to more people, but like Disney movies are good as they are. Like, I don't understand why they need to
leave them.
Yeah, anyway.
Who is it that so actually it was the going back to what we're talking about with Ghostbusters, the director of it actually made a comment of like, well, nobody who pays attention to the Psycho remake. Like, if you're gonna remake something, like why do you remake anything?
Yeah.
Name one remake that you're like, yes, nailed it. Because the only remakes I can think about that are a little bit more palatable, but it just becomes of a different time, is some of the westerns like 310 to Yuma and like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But if you watch the original, you're like, this is
but it didn't need
amazing.
To be remade.
It didn't need to be remade.
Exactly.
Nothing needs to be remade.
But that is a tangent. We are out of time.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Have we hit all the stuff you want to talk about?
Yeah, we hit everything. We're good.
All right. Guys, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. Yeah.
We are excited for 2020.
We are. And we will be back live the next week.
Yes, we will. Same bat time, same bat channel.
It is the 6th of January that we will be back. Yeah. So we will see you then.
We will see you then.
And so have a Happy New Year from the Ladies of GeekChic.
Yes. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
Bye.